Welcome to our Week 2 video review for the 2022 high school football season. Let's get started. So our first play this week is a really great play involving force, which is Rule 213. On this play, we will see that the quarterback will receive the snap and then hand the ball off to the running back. The running back makes forward progress to approximately the 19-yard line, where we will see the ball pulled out and fumbled backwards. The defender attempts to pick up the ball but muffs the ball, and the ball is now moving back towards A's goal line. As we see an A and B player attempt to recover the ball near the goal line, the ball is not covered immediately, and they roll over it and then is recovered in the end zone by A. What would you rule on this play? So let's break the play down to determine how you would decide the correct ruling on the field. If this play had resulted in B recovering in the end zone, it would obviously be a touchdown because possession of a live ball in opponent's end zone is a touchdown. But in this case, in this play, A recovers a live ball in their own end zone. You must make a decision on if this is a touchback or a safety. To do that, you would have to judge and determine on what put the ball in the end zone. To do this, you have to understand Rule 213 force, which we will talk about. Let's look at what the rule book says about force. Force is the result of energy exerted by a player which provides movement of the ball. The term force is used only in connection with the goal line and in only one direction. Example, from the field of play into the end zone. Initial force results from a carry, fumble, kick, pass, or snap. After a fumble, kick, or backwards pass has been grounded, a new force may result from a bat or illegal kick or muff. Responsibility for forcing the ball from the field of play across the goal line is attributed to the player who carries, snaps, passes, fumbles, or kicks the ball, unless a new force is applied to either a kick, fumble, or backwards pass that has been grounded. Key here is it must be grounded. The muffing or batting of a pass, kick, or fumble in flight is not considered a new force. Let's look at the play one more time. So after the quarterback hands the ball off to the running back and the running back makes forward progress to somewhere around the 18 and 19, the running back fumbles the ball. The ball is grounded here. So now a new force could be applied to the ball. We see B, number 10 on the defense, muff the ball. The ball begins to move back towards A's goal line in this situation. And as the ball continues to roll, it ends up about approximately the 1 yard line where we have an A and a B player trying to recover the ball. At this point in time, we cannot see who touches the ball, but we should note that the referee and line judge are in great position in this play to rule on this. As those players continue to roll over, the ball is still unrecovered yet at this point in time, and you can just see it in the end zone crossing the line, the goal line. At this point in time, an A player reaches out and recovers the ball. There's the referee in great position to make a decision on this play. A few final notes on this play. First, this may be a play where the relevant crew members who have information regarding this play may need to come together and discuss it to provide their input before we make a decision or a final ruling. Second, on this play, your judgment comes into play heavily because you must determine what force put the ball from the field of play into the end zone. And let's remember the key part here on the rule book of defining force. Force is the result of energy exerted by a player which provides movement of the ball. This play is a great play for discussion among officials and in pregame. As on this play, we had instances of force that we must rule on and make a judgment. First, we had a fumble by a player back towards the goal line around the 19-yard line. Then we had a B player, number 10, attempt to secure the ball and muff the ball around the 16-yard line back towards A's goal line. Then we had an A and a B player trying to secure possession of the ball around the 1 yard line. And we are unsure by the video who actually touched the ball there or if they put a new force on the ball. This makes a great play for discussion so that we understand force and we can make the correct ruling on the field if this happens in our game. Play 2, we're going to look at the end on the right side here. It looks like number 23 for a block below the waist. Notice we're on an extra point, and he goes out and blocks below the waist, and we're looking at it from two angles. And as you can see, first of all, let's remember that all players blocking on the line of scrimmage below the waist must be on the line of scrimmage. The contact must be in the zone. It must be immediate. This does not meet that criteria, so this would be an illegal block below the waist. Our next play, we're also going to look on a kickoff, illegal block below the waist. And on kickoffs, remember, we don't have a line of scrimmage, so we cannot have blocking below the waist. Notice here in the middle of the field, we notice the player come up and block below the waist inside the red circle. This is illegal on a kickoff. On the next play, let's illustrate how important it is for officials to use proper mechanics, specifically the proper clock signals. On this play here, we have the quarterback running towards the sideline. He goes out of bounds, or is he out of bounds? The line judge does not give a mechanic, so we cannot know whether the clock operator should know whether to stop the clock or continue running and when to start the play clock. Play number 4, we're going to have an intentional grounding call. And this would be a correct call. On this play, the quarterback will receive the snap and begin to run around in the backfield. But in this situation, the quarterback does not get outside the free blocking zone when he throws the ball away, which is one of our criteria. The second criteria would be it has to go beyond the line of scrimmage. But if he doesn't meet the first criteria, the second criteria is irrelevant. Also, it is obvious on this play that you did not see an eligible receiver in the area, and his intent is to throw the ball away. Play number 5, we have 2 fouls. First, we have a holding by the offense, and then we have a late hit by the defense, which is a dead ball foul. So we have a live ball followed by a dead ball foul. So first, we would enforce the holding call, which is live ball foul by the offense in the all but one principle. Then, after that, on the succeeding spot, we would enforce the dead ball foul for the late hit by the defense on this play. On play number 6, we're going to talk mechanics. And remember, on a punt play, the back judge will position themselves on the head linesman's side of the field to help with the coverage on that side of the field, because the head linesman does not drift downfield on the snap. They hold the line until the ball crosses the line of scrimmage. So back judge, please position yourself on the head linesman's side of the field on punt plays. Play number 7, our focus will be on the third receiver in from the line judge side inside the red circle. And we're looking at a possible DPI here. Notice on the play as the receiver goes downfield, we have to look and say, did the defender contact them early from the backside? Was this early contact, and was it enough to call defensive pass interference? This type of play shows how important it is to know your keys and know your area of responsibility, so you can be looking in the proper area at the proper time when the pass arrives to get the call correct. Play number 8, we're going to have a hurdling call, which is a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. We don't see this often, but here you can see the running back as he's running downfield hurdles and leaps over the defensive player who is only contacting the ground with his 2 feet on the ground. This is hurdling. This is the correct call here, enforced again from the spot of the foul, 15 yards. Play number 9, we're going to look at mechanics, specifically for the wing officials. And in this case, we have a run towards the line judge side of the field. And the runner gets near the sideline. Now, if we're ruling that the runner goes out of bounds here, the line judge should give the stop the clock mechanics signal and turn to the outside, because he has players behind him, so he can focus on that and not pointing down to the ground and looking at the ground. Also, if they're ruled inbounds, you should give the wind the clock signal and still turn his back to the field and be looking out of bounds to look at the action behind him. Pointing down at the ground is not a mechanic, and putting your head down eliminates you from being able to see further action by the players. Play number 10, we're going to look at 2 things. We're going to look at mechanics of the wing official here in the inbounds, out of bounds. So first of all, we have a potential for a receiver catching the ball prior to going out of bounds. Now, 2 things here. We have to rule number 1, did the receiver catch the ball inbounds or out of bounds, and did he have possession of it? and that's a decision that has to be made. Second of all, when we make this call as a official, we have to be sure that we are selling the call. So when we give our signals, we want to overemphasize that our call that we made, so that we can sell the call to the players and the coaches and so forth. Also in this play, remember that per high school rules, that a receiver is only required to have 1 foot in bounds with possession of the ball to be ruled as a completed pass. Thank you for joining us for Week 2's video review of the 2022 football season, and we hope that you join us next week for our Week 3 review.